Welcome everyone to a casted game for Age of Empires 4! And today, spawning in the north corner of the map, playing in red, we've got Wham-O-1 playing as the Macedonian Dynasty. And up against them today, spawning in the south in blue, we've got Sas playing as the Holy Roman Empire. Welcome everyone to Sunken Lands. As always, hope you guys are having a great morning, good afternoon, or good evening. And I'm excited for this one because we've got one of the new civilizations coming to you with the Age of Empires 4 Dynasties of the East DLC. And then we've got the other civilization, the Holy Roman Empire, as one of the originals. Super excited for this matchup because these two civilizations are incredibly powerful. Of course, throughout the cast, we'll tell you exactly why. But the map is an interesting one as well, for both players in fact. Gold resources are very far forward, so it's going to be likely to be a pretty aggressive match today, especially when you think about food as well. A lot of food here on the right side for Wham, and a lot of the food on Sassy's right side as well. I mean, the tricky part is Sass has got berries forward as well, so it's going to be a tricky one to navigate. Speaking about navigation, let's navigate to the east side of the map, where there's plenty of food, as well as on the west. Woodlines are a bit tricky on Sunken Lands as well. Do usually have a chunk at the back, easily often a raiding spot. We'll see how this game unfolds. Now, I would like to say, by the way, a very big thank you for everyone who's been supporting the channel. You guys are absolute legends, whether it be Twitch Primes on the Twitch side of things, or whether it be YouTube channel members. I really appreciate the support. Or even if it's just, just watching the games and having fun. And certainly giving the videos a thumbs up really helps out. It's completely free, of course. But speaking of going out on the map now and getting free food, it's going to go for the deer. Grand Winery, landmark of choice. Now, I think this actually has a really interesting discussion point with the Macedonian Dynasty, because the power of the Macedonian Dynasty, not only is it with its landmarks, but the choices that you have available to you. The Grand Winery and Hippodrome are looking really, really nice. It's not always easy to tell necessarily which one you definitely want to do. Grand Winery, definitely a really economic powerhouse. Gathers food 30% faster, especially in a situation like this where you got berries and deer. It's super, super powerful. It matches up quite nicely with the Archon Chapel, which is going to give you the 35% bonus for the prelate. Now, the other alternative, by the way, for the Macedonian Dynasty would have been the Hippodrome. And the Hippodrome gives you access to champions. That gives you various benefits, whether it be torch damage, infantry movement speed, cavalry attack. It's a solid choice as well. But not only do you have to choose based on what you want to play in terms of preference, your map, but you have to consider the enemy you're up against. And going for the Grand Winery, I think, is a very solid choice for Wham, as I'm sure he does as well, of course, him choosing it. But when you're going up against the Archon Chapel, if you go Hippodrome, you're going to be behind in economy, right? So you've already kind of created a fork in the road of the game's development and the roadmap of it, because if you're going for Hippodrome, you have to do damage. You can't just, you're not going to match the economy. With the Grand Winery, on the other hand, you can sort of match the economy a decent chunk. I mean, it's obviously still not as quite as strong as a prelate, but it's there or thereabouts. I gotta say, look at the number of sheep that Sass has brought home. Holy smokes. That is a lot. Not that many here for the Macedonian Dynasty. Gotta go for the Varangian Stronghold, the production building for Varangian units for the Macedonian Dynasty. Quite powerful as well, because you can equip it with arrow slits, so hence why he's putting it on the food here, because if he does need to defend this location, he can get that upgrade and he'll be absolutely fine. Oh, look at that bit cheeky there. He deployed a production building and then deleted it, changed the idea. Didn't quite see what it was there beforehand, but cheeky from Sass. Oh, he's actually got a couple more sheep in the bank coming on with the scout. Oh, good timing there. He was running out of food underneath the town centre. Both players now in the feudal age. Going to be stable opening here for Sass, and obviously we've got the Varangian Stronghold, so we don't necessarily know what he's going to go for. Well, you do now, because he's picked up the early Varangian Guard. We've got the Varangian War Camp as well, increases the population for the Macedonian Dynasty, but also gives you reinforcements when you do lose your warriors in battle. They have to be honourable battles, so your Varangian units can't kill villagers to count for the runestones, or... Actually, no, wait. I don't think it actually matters here. I think it's just if you lose them with the Varangian War Camp. It's for the runestones that it matters, If you have to get 5 victories, and those victories must be honourable. Take a look here. And there's the runestones. Increases the damage by 1, melee damage at least, and then the ranged weapon ranged by 1 tile, and then the movement speed as well, which is pretty nifty to have. You kind of want the movement speed when you consider that the Holy Roman Empire do get marching drills now for free, so the movement speed of the HRE units just a little bit faster. Adding the Atgemether as well, and a forward Varangian stronghold. Oh, professional scouts coming in for SAS. Kind of interesting choice. There is plenty of deer to gather on the map, on the peripheries at least. It's probably going to be looking to get the deer camp that's at home. And what's kind of interesting is how now with professional scouts, as you bring the deer carcasses home, they actually decay in food. What would have been cool as well though, from a mechanic side of things, I don't know if you would really implement it in AoE 4. AoE 4 doesn't really seem to have these sort of features where if you killed the deer, maybe the food could decay just like it does in Age of Empires 2, and that could be a bit of an annoying thing for your if your enemy is killing your deer camp, because it decays, right? So that's an interesting point to think about. It would reward Dark Age play, and then I wonder whether everyone would just open up Dark Age units potentially. There's a blacksmith for the HRE. Speaking of, the Macedonian Dynasty get the Varangian Arsenal as the substitute for the barracks. Sorry, not the barracks, the blacksmith and the university. You can house some really, really cool upgrades in it. More importantly, the upgrades go up to 6 levels of. It's kind of crazy, right? 6 tiers of upgrades. Not to mention the fact that the armor upgrades for the Macedonian Dynasty, not only does it give you the +1 armor, it increases the HP of your units by 5%. Kind of starts to add up. Double barracks as well. Could be a man-at-arms rush. Interesting choice here for the HRE. It's going Feudal Age aggression. Not something we see often, but it's something we're increasingly seeing, and it makes a lot of sense because, sure, the Castle Age for the HRE incredibly strong, especially if you can get the relics, if you're going for the regnets, but we must not overlook the economy is so good here for the HRE. With the Ark and Chapel, you can really extend the Feudal Age, and your enemy is going to find it difficult to compete, at least from an economic standpoint. And of course, Macedonian Dynasty didn't go for the Hippodrome, so it really is planning on the economy. Speaking of which, speaking of landmarks, going for the Cistern of the First Hill as a fast castle, kind of crazy strategy actually. And considering how far forward the gold is, it's pretty surprising that this is being allowed to happen. But the timing on it is pretty fast. As you can see with the Macedonian Dynasty, the Grand Winery really helps out on the food income, as he does now start to send a troop or 2 or 5 forward onto the map, Sassy. And this is going to be a bit problematic here for Wham, because, well, you get to the Castle Age, you need gold. He's got a decent chunk in the bank once he deposits this, but yeah, he's been pushed off it. I can imagine he probably wants this. Doesn't have the stone for it though. And torches are out. Yeah, I've got 250 gold, so certainly would be enough for a couple of the Varangian guards, but we'll see if he decides to go for the veterancy upgrade first and then units or not. Yeah, there it is. Okay, he's going for the upgrade. Understandably so. Now, he would need to actually place down a archery range if he wants to go for some crossbows. Look at this BURGRAVE Palace coming out for SAS. Interesting choice. We've not seen this in a very long time. He wants to be super aggressive, understandably so, because the golds are forward in sunken lands. It really does favour the aggressors here, this map. He's killed 1 villager so far. You start to see the Riddari out as well. Cavalry will be good against the man-at-arms in terms of movement speed at least. This is where it becomes a bit tricky, right, for SAS, because he's going to go for an infantry death ball, which is not a bad idea, but Riddari can kite, and they can potentially use thrown axes. Probably no point when you only have 1. Trying to snipe down some of these man-at-arms. Alrighty. BURGRAVE Palace, almost there actually. Building with 10 villagers, getting some wheelbarrow action as well. The good thing for the Holy Roman Empire is he did get the deer camp in, so he's got a good number of food chunks of food coming on in. One thing to bear in mind though, the distance to walk here, or ride really, is so long for these scouts. I don't know how much food's going to be on the deer carcasses once it gets home. Obviously it's better than nothing, but yeah, we'll see. Man-at-arms have been upgraded. Oh, Riddari will spot this. Going to peel a couple of man-at-arms here, Sass, to deal with this. So should be able to bring the food home. He does. Yeah, he's chasing the professional scouts, though. It gives time for Sass to build up a bit of a force, but it also gives Wham an opportunity to secure his resources, as well as get some upgrades. As you can see, the Varangian arsenal going to go increase the damage of the cavalry here with blade inlaying. That's to drop the food source. In fact, yeah, let's take a look at the deer carcasses that have been dropped off. Yeah, 214. That's a big chunk of the food gone. But still probably worth it if you can get it in, because it's going to sustain the unit production really, really nicely. And it means that Wham's probably going to have to go for farms pretty early, which is going to take the sting out of his unit production. Speaking of unit production, Sass continues to make man-at-arms. I can see the thrown axes being deployed. Actually not doing a whole lot of damage. Man-at-arms are pretty tanky, and I wonder if he's actually got the heavy maces upgrade. Not yet. Oh, he has, actually. He has. There's two-handed weapons he hasn't got yet. So it's going to do some bonus damage against heavily armoured units. +6. If you can get on top of the Riddari, it's going to be a problem. If you can catch them. That's the big thing. A couple of early Varangians. They will suffer here heavily. Probably just going to be throwing away those units. No, they're going to run away and just drag the man-at-arms. Sass not taking the bait. Outpost going up. Oh, will it go up in time? Oh, I don't know if it does. It doesn't. He's going to try and rush it down, which could be painful. He won't be able to. The damage output from these man-at-arms just way too good. This outpost does go up in the end. Yeah, I think he has to torch this down, right? Or does he challenge the Riddari? It's going to be a bit of a cat and mouse game here. He is engaging here, where I'm not so sure about this. He does lose one Riddari pretty cheaply. We'll have to look for external... Oh, look at that bit. That man-at-arm, he's killed 2 villagers. We have to keep an eye on that, because a couple of raids here could be devastating. Oh, he didn't go for the outpost, the second one. Is he upgrading this one? Not yet. He doesn't have the resources to do it. He's struggling on food. And this one man-at-arm... My God, this guy! He's still going. It's causing all sorts of trouble. He's being raided really heavily. 5 villagers down already. He's got 2 outposts. He should be okay, although the spam of units just keep coming here for Sass. This man-at-arm has been dealt with eventually. But the thing is, it's like, there's 9 villagers here, and it's all being idled. In fact, he's got 12 villagers idled so far. I would love to see him just torch this down. He does, and, well, Wham deletes it in the end to recover some of the wood. Or did he? I don't think... It didn't feel like he did. He doesn't have any in the bank. Which is a kind of crazy situation. Now, the arrow slits barely do anything to these man-at-arms, as you can see, so he's kind of happy to just stay under here. Not a problem. Definitely worth the idle 9 villagers. They're probably going to just kind of dart in and out, but their cooldown is 30 seconds, I believe, on this. So, yeah, it is 30 seconds after he's using it. All villagers coming out. Oh, they're not coming to repair. This goes down, I think. That means a couple of villagers exposed. Picks off a man-at-arm there nicely. Back home, I imagine Sass is doing absolutely hunky-dory in terms of a... This goes down super fast. Torch damage, holy smokes. Now the Riddari forced to fight because of it. That's not really a fight they want to take. Heavy mace is doing all sorts of damage. There's the runestones, by the way. Allows him to escape rather handily. Oh, he picks another Riddari off. Nicely done. Does he just dive this? Bear in mind, he only had the iron undermesh. Wedge rivets coming in now for Sass. Thrown axes gets deployed once again, but another Riddari goes down. I mean, marching drills really helps here. He's going to go for the food economy now. Back at home. He's got berries still, and he's still got deer carcasses to work with. Whereas look at this, Wham's needing food, he's needing farms. The timing on this is so good from Sass. Just as we talked about, the food income for him is great with the professional scouts. Whereas Wham now having to rely on farms, which are expensive on the wood, although he's going to lose a lot of the man-at-arms mass now. That was a bit of a massacre, but he's achieved a lot with this force. There's no doubt about that. Pushed Wham off of gold mostly, at least temporarily. He does go for the gold on the west side now of his base. Still picking up deer as well. There's still deer on the map to be had too. Riddari going to chase down. I think Sass does need to consolidate his army a little bit now because he's only got trickling numbers. The Riddari will be able to pick them off. But behind all of this, by the way, Wham did manage to secure 2 relics with Sass. getting his first. Two man at arms will be sacrificed just to cause a lot of idle time. To be fair, he picks up a villager. That's great work. There's another weak one there, but won't be able to snipe it in the end. And the consolidation begins for Sass. Great opening for him and the HRE. Interesting to see the Burgrave play. I wouldn't necessarily say Burgrave rush because there was a feudal age play into this. The Macedonian Dynasty gonna have to find a way through. He's getting plenty of upgrades for his cavalry. But this is the thing, right? Like, having the upgrades in terms of armor is great, but when you've got heavy maces, if the man-at-arms can catch up to them, it's going to be a challenging time for the Ridderi. It's going to be coming down to movement speed. Going to snipe out the scout, potentially. Just about gets out of the way there. Keeps him alive. Nicely done, actually. Going to go for a bit of a wallow. Unlikely to pick anything up, but nice try. Just forces the Ridderi away from the prelate. Might go for a bit of a snipe. No, he doesn't. Oh, he didn't actually throw the axes there. He does now. It's going to be getting away with the third relic most likely here. Adding in a couple of spearmen as well. And I love the walls. The palisade walls in this kind of playstyle, super important actually. It just allows your army to move on out. Without it, you know, you're always worried about Ridderi coming around the back, especially on the barriers here. You do not want to be losing that situation. And obviously the walls secure that very nicely, as do this set of walls here. Very nice base layout for Sass. Allows him to really make the most of his army. Keep them out. Now, the farms will probably need to come out for Sass relatively... I say that, but he's still trickling in deer camp. It's crazy. There will come a time he will need to, though, and that might be an opportunity for Wham to get back into the game. We cancelled an upgrade for the cavalry. Instead, he's going to go for the rump fire. This is pretty good, actually. Increases the damage by +3. So it kind of helps negate the whole heavy maces situation. If you've got the upgrades and rump fire, but, you know, you prefer +6 over +3. +6 obviously coming from the heavy maces. 3 relics to 2 as well, so this aggression has paid off long term for Sass. Thrown axes. Oh, I don't know about spending it on the scout, really. He's trying to snipe it. I guess he does want to get rid of the food income, at least a little bit. Will he be able to catch it? Going to be a tricky one to get hold of. Oh, scout here for Sass. Going to lose it most likely. Yep, down it goes. Oh, it's because Wham wants to go on the left side for the food. And this is huge. Like, this is a chunk of the economy again. 12 villages idled. And Sass could make this a pressure point. Wham, though, just going to navigate around this. Look at this. Just adding in a couple of knights, too, for the movement speed. And they're going to get right on top of the gold line. Oh, no. He's killing villagers, but he's also causing a lot of idle time. That's absolutely huge. Oh, will he torch this down? Thought about it. Oh, these villagers are super exposed. This is painful. Ridderi trying to get a bit of a counter-attack. We'll see if he can manage it. It feels like he kind of has to dive here, but what can he hit? There's outposts here defending. With relics inside them too. And he's even got is that spring on replacement? Oh, look at the distance on that. The distance on that spring on replacement is absolutely huge. It's on a different screen. But it's doing the work. Moonstone gets deployed. Oh, this is not good for the Ridderi. They have to run out of there. The raiding, constant raiding here from Sass. Absolutely phenomenal. It does have a couple of Ridderi to fight off the man-at-arms here, but not on the wood line. And a handful of villagers going to go down there for sure. And the base layout with the walls just working so well for Sass. Another villager goes down in the gold vein line. And the moving of the villagers is hurting him. He doesn't have wheelbarrow, by the way. So it really hurts. Adding in a couple of springles, that could be a good option, but you need a mass of them. And the way that Sass has kind of secured his base means that the movement speed of the Ridderi have never really posed much of a threat to him. Now he's just going to go head first into that gold vein. But he just have to back away. Oh, gets a couple of Ridderi. The spearman going to do great work here. Oh, this is not good for Wham. Like, this is great for Sass. When you think he's ahead economy-wise, all he has to do is take a relatively equal trade, and he will be continuing to get ahead. In the end, though, the Ronfire equipped Ridderi will take care of this. surprisingly well, actually. Two sacred sites, rather, on this map. Captured by Sass. A lot of the army has been taken care of, but he continues to focus on the villagers, which long term is going to be putting him in a really strong position. He's killed 26 villagers, Sass, and he's lost exactly 0. Getting inspired warriors as well, just to add more problems for Wham. And the trouble for Wham and the Macedonian Dynasty now is that he has to put pressure. He's got to do something, because he's so far behind economically. Not only is Sass ahead in villager count, a lot of these villagers are being inspired by the Ark and Chapel. Game's sort of settling down now, but I don't know if that's a good thing for Wham. He will decap the sacred sites, but damage being done for Sass now. All he needs to do is consolidate, rebuild the army again, and go again. Let's talk army composition. You've got Riddery and looks like Springald's play here for Wham. And Sass, I think he's just going to continue doing what he's doing. He's adding a couple of crossbows as well to the mix. Mass infantry. I wonder if a couple of mangonels could work nicely here for Wham as well. But the trouble with it is that you always need like a good batch of them, like 3 or 4 of them to do some good work. Same to be said for Springald's. Speaking of Springald's, this one might be sniped. I think, yeah, Sass just commits to this. The amount of damage that does, holy smokes. I mean, he basically 3-shot that. I mean, we charged it and then got the one hit with one of the knights and took it out. That's super, super weak, that Springald. Obviously, you want to get it protected, and it wasn't. As the thrown axes from the Riddery do snipe a knight. This could be a bit of a source of problems for Wham if it gets attacked. Sass just working on his upgrades with the transition onto crossbows. Steeled arrow on the way. Yeah, his farming transition, look at this, absolutely beautiful. And that's going to be a lot of food. In fact, let's take a look at how much food income per minute. Yeah, almost double. Not to mention the wood income is crazy. It's because the prelates, I love this additional play. A lot of, obviously not pro players wouldn't forget, but some players will forget to move the prelates onto the wood lines when it's kind of mid to late stages of the game. Of course, we wouldn't expect that from pro players, but there's something to always consider if you're an HRE player. Never forget to utilize your main eco bonus being the prelates. The Riddery possibly going to be moving out soon. We'll see. Well, quite a good group of them together. Possibly going to try and challenge the gold, but double outpost and a relic inside as well. Will be difficult to really fight underneath this. Maybe it's something you could try. Don't know if... yeah, Sassy's got more than enough to deal with this, really. In terms of unit numbers, but also the counter. All villagers, though. Thrown axes comes out, snipes a couple of them. It's the first time that Sass has lost villagers. We're 24 minutes into the game almost. The issues of Springald on placements. By the way, the range on the Springalds is absolutely phenomenal with the relic. It's crazy. Look at that. Weapon range increased by 20%. The range is already 10 tiles. Has to retreat. Needs more forces. Yeah, it's a really tough situation for Wham, actually. I mean, in this scenario, what do? Do you try and add another town center and play super, super late? If you do that, though, then you have to go super late because, of course, Sass is going to be building up to the Imperial Age and a heavy army for sure. The other option is to go crazy, like all-in sort of play, but how do you do it when there's a base that's kind of protected as well as Sass's is? The number of outposts he's got with emplacements inside, like you can never push this without trebuchet-type siege, right? A slow push. But that slow push is just too slow. By the time you make any momentum, Sass's army composition and army numbers are just going to skyrocket. He's even starting to get in some horsemen for some raids. I love the fact he's keeping up the pressure, especially on the farms here. We talked about it earlier. This is a pressure point. An area that can be attacked. Wow, not going for the walls. I guess in a way he's never really seen a need to with the mass infantry from the HRE, but now with the cavalry being added, the raids are going to become a lot realer. That is a word, of course. Macedonian placements in the outposts. It's a nice start. I think Sas is just looking to just maximize his army population and then go in the Castle Age. Does Wham dare go to the Imperial Age? That is one option for him as well, but the second he does that, we all know that Sas is going to attack him. We always say on the channel that when you do age up, that's often when you're most vulnerable. We'll see if that ends up being true today as well. Well, it will be true, but whether it poses a problem for Wham or not, we'll see. Yeah, it's going to struggle on gold now. With the primary goals taken care of, or taken, just completely mined out, players are going to start challenging for the middle of the map, and you can see keep being dropped here for Sas. He wants the gold on the left. Gold on the right is still kind of secure for Wham, for now at least. But the crazy thing as well, with the amount of infantry that Sas has, torch damage could be really good just to burn through buildings. We talk about Wham needing trebuchets, and it's courtesy of the fact that he can't get close to the sprinkled emplacement towers, and he doesn't have infantry to just torch things down. Like, you can make a case that if you're going up against sprinkled towers, if you've got mass infantry, maybe you can do it, because the sprinkled towers will maybe take care of a spearman or two, relatively cheaper units, and will overkill them, right? So you can only fire at a certain rate for sprinkled towers. So if they take infantry, it's a lot less big of a deal than if it takes a whole cavalry unit, right? An expensive cavalry unit like the Ridley. Springald does get taken down. Lovely play, lovely snipe, because he's trading horsemen for Springalds. That's always a worthwhile trade. Gonna try and get another outpost, but I don't think it goes up in time. Even with the mangonel emplacement, I don't think this kind of disturbs Sas's push at all. I think he'd be happy just to burn that down, even though it's been fortified. It does feel like he's got enough torch damage here, and not much contestation either. Even with mangonel placement, it's a bit risky, but we'll take a look at the health bars here. Yeah, it's just so fast to go down. Oh my god, what a massacre. Holy smokes, we missed it, but we didn't miss the dead bodies. Sas just lost everything there, even despite the keep. That's crazy. He lost a lot of villagers in a blink of an eye. Nice retaliation there from Wham, but look at this, raiding the wood line. Coming in from the east this time. Yeah, he's going for the farms. We talked about it. This is a big problem for Wham. Coming in from the west with the cavalry. Coming in from the east with the infantry. Sure, he lost a lot of villagers, but I think Wham's going to lose a lot of everything. Going to try and dive on the Springals. He does get one picked up, which is a nice start. Horsemen have to ride on out. Not many of them surviving this. It's just going to go for a landmark snipe, maybe. Why not? Torch everything down. Burn it down to the ground. Grand Winery certainly going to go down. But this is worth it, right? Because not only is it taking a landmark, it's taking care of the relics. Means income here for Wham is going to decrease even further. And Sas almost at population capacity. Look at Palatine School coming in for Wham. Went for the Imperial Age. I felt greedy, but he's not going to be able to do too much with it. He'll get there. And maybe able to get a couple of cataphracts. You can spend silver to make cataphracts, and it could help his situation. But really, maybe not, because he's got spearmen, crossbows. It's the perfect counter. Back at home, blacksmith upgrades pretty much covered here for Sas, and all it takes now is one big fight. 115 military versus 25. There can only be one winner. Crossbows sniping out the Springald, spearmen taking out the Riddery. Cataphracts pop out in a batch of 3, but it looks like it's probably a little bit too little, too late. And it will be the case that Sassy with the raid on the woodline as well. Doesn't matter anyway, it's all over. Wham does tap out, and it's an interesting play. Macedonian Dynasty coming up against Man-at-Arms Rush into Burgrave. It's been a while, but the Burgrave is back.